If asked which cargo carrier is the most dangerous in the world, we can say without a doubt that it is Aerosucre. You have frequently seen videos of this aircraft taking off and landing. Plane spotters often record the takeoffs and landings of this aircraft and upload them to the internet. The main reason for that is that its pilots perform takeoffs and landings very carelessly. Based in Bogota, Colombia, this airline does not prioritize safety. Established in 1969, this airline has already experienced approximately 13 dangerous crashes. In a country like Colombia, geographically, they often struggle to build roads. Despite being a geographically challenged country, the fact that this airline operates from Colombia is significant. Another important factor that contributes to the airline's fame is its readiness to fly to any destination. They have been in the aviation industry for the past 54 years, yet they continue to operate with old second-hand planes. Their fleet primarily consists of retired Boeing 727 aircraft. Furthermore, it is also concerning that these planes do not undergo regular maintenance. Often, the aircraft's takeoff weight exceeds the maximum permissible limit. This becomes evident when observing the manner in which it takes off. Many of you have likely seen the video you are currently watching, depicting an aircraft taking off. In the video, the aircraft appears to take off slowly, almost hitting a tree and the airport perimeter before finally becoming airborne. But not many people know what happens to this aircraft later. A small curiosity led to an investigation to discover its fate. During the investigation, it was revealed that this aircraft took off, landed, and eventually crashed, resulting in the deaths of 4 out of the 5 people on board. This video sheds light on the circumstances surrounding the crash of Aerosucre, considered the most dangerous cargo carrier in the world. On December 20, 2016, Aerosucre Airlines Flight 157 was involved in this accident. The aircraft involved was a Boeing 727 manufactured in 1975. Aerosucre purchased this plane from American Airlines in 2007. This aircraft was operated by a crew consisting of 3 members: the captain, first officer, and a flight engineer. Additionally, 2 other individuals were on board. One served as the flight dispatcher or load controller, while the 5th person was the mechanic responsible for the aircraft. On the day of departure, the weight indicated on the paperwork was 19,820 kilograms. However, the aircraft was carrying approximately 1,300 kilograms more weight than stated. This is a common occurrence with this airline. Most of the time, they carry a weight exceeding their maximum takeoff weight. Even the pilots are aware of this practice, but they often disregard it. Yes, the pilots were aware of the excess weight being carried that day, but they chose to ignore it or did not consider it a significant concern. Another factor that contributes to the danger of Aerosucre Airline is the casual attitude of the pilots employed by the airline. This attitude was also evident in the captain who was operating the aircraft on that day. Even though he knew that the wind direction was opposite, he decided to take off the aircraft from the same runway where the wind was blowing in the opposite direction. But all the other aircraft that took off at that airport at that time departed from runway 7, which is opposite to it. But only this captain decided to take off from runway 24, which was the first mistake on the captain's part. Later, they began to review all the checklists for the captain's takeoff and conducted a briefing. They began to determine the appropriate takeoff speed according to the speed table provided in the flight manual. But this was another error because Aerosucre Airlines had upgraded their Boeing 727 plane some days ago, around 2015. However, the updated speed limit after the upgrade was not provided in the flight manual. That's why the pilots chose the old speed limit for that takeoff. The third mistake occurred when the aircraft accelerated. When the first officer said, "We 1 rotate," The captain pulled his control column very slowly to lift off the nose of the aircraft from the runway as the aircraft accelerated and proceeded along the runway. Boeing recommends that the speed of rotation during acceleration should be 2 or 3 degrees per second. However, because the captain pulled back on the control column slowly, it was at 1 degree per second, and the aircraft took off very slowly. The weight in the aircraft is higher, and the wind direction is opposite. The aircraft, which was taking off very slowly, broke through the perimeter fence of the airport and then collided with a tree before finally taking off. The main landing gear on the right side of the aircraft, as well as 2 hydraulic systems, were damaged after hitting the tree. Even though the pilots attempted to control the aircraft, which was flying at a height of 790 feet, their efforts were unsuccessful. Despite the flight engineer reporting that hydraulic fluid was leaking from the aircraft, the 2 pilots were not willing to check the checklist or determine what needed to be done. The aircraft, which deviated to the right, descended rapidly and crashed, erupting into flames. 4 out of the 5 people aboard the aircraft died instantly, while only the mechanic sustained serious injuries. Since 1969, there have been around 13 accidents involving these airlines. Therefore, this incident was not new for Colombian investigators. They had a thorough understanding of the safety standards of this airline. Later, in the investigation conducted by Colombian authorities, it was primarily concluded that the casual attitude of the pilots was the main cause of this accident. In addition, the excessive weight that the aircraft was carrying contributed to the accident. Despite the flight engineer indicating a hydraulic system failure, the pilots neglected to address the issue. Furthermore, the airport was not equipped to accommodate Boeing 727 aircraft. Despite numerous safety recommendations made by Colombian authorities, none of them have been implemented. In the mid-1990s, this airline was involved in drug smuggling and illegal human trafficking activities. Additionally, there was an accident in the late 90s that resulted in the deaths of 17 passengers. As a cargo carrier, this airline does not have seats inside the aircraft. Therefore, these 17 passengers were transported illegally by sitting on the floor, leading to their deaths during the accident. The airline Aerosucre continues to operate in a very dangerous manner. Numerous videos available on the internet depict their casual approach to operations. So, if asked which is the most dangerous cargo carrier in the world, Aerosucre Airline is the only name that can be said without a doubt.